Hey guys, Tim Dingerson here from UView. Today I want to talk about the importance of having a proper library of rich content to help launch your MedTech product. I've been a content creator for almost 30 years, and I get requests all the time for, hey, Tim, can you help create a social post? Can you create a brochure? Can you help create an animation for our product launch? And I always say, all right, great, awesome, happy to do it. What assets do we have to work from? And it's usually, okay, well, we have an image or two from the manufacturer. And as a content creator, that's really hard and limiting for me to create something really compelling for our clients because I don't have any assets to work with. So we are big believers in if you're launching a product, you need to get ahead of the content demands that are ahead of you, from event marketing material to social content to your website to training material, right? There's a lot of content that you're going to need for this product. And if you can get ahead of that, actually pre-launch, you're going to be in a much better position to succeed with marketing and selling this product. So I want to walk you through a project that we just finished up for TYBR Health and their B3 gel product, which is an orthopedic product to help with post-scarring tissue that happens on a tendon, which, if you, the scarring creates limited mobility post-surgery, but if, with their gel, the technology behind their gel allows for patients to heal more efficiently with their product. So when they initially reached out, it was from the lens of creating an educational video to help explain what the product is and how it works. So what we do is we immerse ourselves in the product to help us understand what it is, how it works, so that we can create the most accurate and compelling content for them. So what you're seeing here is our shared document. And these are all of our notes. So we have several calls with the client to just learn, to understand what the product is, how it works. And then from this, we are jotting down or starting to develop a script for them, a very loose script based on what we think is the right story to tell for this product. Okay, and this is a very collaborative process. We are just doing this quickly, sharing it with the client, getting their feedback. And then from there, once we have the structure, it's now about the visuals, right? Like, we are not doctors. I am not a doctor. I'm not a scientist. So I have to, figure out the best way to wrap my head around how to tell this story visually. And this is where we're just relying on Google. We're doing image searches to get an understanding of what are the mechanisms, the organisms, the anatomical correct way of telling this story. And this is something that is, again, very collaborative. We're working with the client in real time to go through these things. We're pulling images together to help shape what that story is and the visuals needed. Okay. And then from there, what you're seeing here is actually the semblance of, of a storyboard, right? We're taking that story, all the imagery that we've talked about, and we're starting to compile the story. Does it look beautiful yet? No, it's still very rough, but you can see that there's the structure of the story there. What's happening in the background is my team is also taking their CAD files and they're starting to develop render aesthetics for the product itself. Okay. And this is the start of building out their asset library. So we've got the script going for the video. We've got an asset library that's being developed in the background, which actually looks like this. So when it's all said and done, we're providing the client with a nice library of anywhere from 10 to 20 images, depending on the complexity of the product. And these are all of the assets as stills and videos that will be used in all the material that we're going to create moving forward. All right. So once we have those assets, once we have that script, we're able to start creating in this case, their main asset, which is this educational video of how the product actually works. Okay. In this case, this was the main deliverable. Now, from there, we typically get the request, hey, Tim, we have an event coming up. Can you help us with a banner? Can you help us with a brochure? Yeah, no problem. So now at this point, we've got a really good understanding of how this product works. We have a great library of content. And so creating these assets is actually easy for us, right? And it's cost efficient for the client because we're not spending time creating new assets and they're not spending time getting a new vendor familiar with how their product works. So we're able to quickly take some assets from our library, put some headlines together, and create, in this case, this was an 8x8 banner for an event. The same thing for the brochure. They needed a double-sided brochure. So because we've developed the story for the video, creating the story for the brochure was actually, pretty easy. Okay. So, and we have all of the assets in our library. And so here we are, we're able to translate that into a really nicely designed print brochure for them. So now take it a step further. Hey, Tim, we have an event coming up. We need these marketing assets, and it would be great if we can drive traffic to a website. We don't have time to develop a full website. I don't think we're ready for that yet. Can you make us a really compelling landing page? Well, sure, no problem. So we're taking, again, all of those assets that we've built. And now that we know the story, we're just applying that to a really compelling, highly visual landing page that we're actually using a QR code in the print material to drive traffic to. Okay. So all of this is to just support the idea that if you are launching a MedTech product, you're going to need all of this stuff. It's just when in your process are you making it a priority? And I'm going to argue that if you do this pre-launch, and you will set yourselves up for success, not only for your marketing needs, but also for your sales team that you're building. If they have highly compelling and rich content, you're making their job easier and you're elevating the sophistication of your brands. Okay. So that's it. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out. I love talking about this stuff, and I'll post more as they come through. Thanks.